Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Black and White United Show. I'm your host Andreas. Thank you so much for tuning in with me this morning. In today's episode we're going to preview the clash with Gold Coast on Friday night at People First Stadium. Roll the intro.
0, 1. Let's get started.
So coming off our awesome win last Friday against Carlton, we obviously face Gold Coast this Friday night. They're saying it's going to be Gold Coast's biggest game ever. It's their most important game. It's their biggest game. It's probably their biggest game because they're playing against us. And let's face it, it's going to be more like a home ground to Collingwood with all the supporters and stuff that are going up. There is so many people going up, also with school holidays too. So I don't really think that it's going to be too much of a home ground advantage to Gold Coast. We tend to play there almost every year, so the players know what to expect up there. We obviously did some preseason work up there as well, which was, I actually saw some of the players there too, which was fantastic. There are, though, some aspects of this game now that I'm starting to get a little bit worried about, also considering the fact that there is some sort of viral infection, some cold, whatever, going through the club right now. As I'm filming this video right now, Darcy Moore, Josh Dacos, Nick Dacos have all been struck down with the flu, or a cold, whatever you want to call it. Are they playing? We're not 100% sure. We'll obviously find out the teams tonight, and then we'll wait for any late changes that might get done closer to the game. I'm just going to put this out there, if we don't have those three, then I am a little bit hesitant about this game. I think this might be the game that we drop, one of the games. I reckon we'll drop 2 more games this season, and I just have a feeling the stars are aligning for Gold Coast for this game. If, though, we have our full list playing, and you got the inclusion of Lockie Schultz coming in this week and still side bottom, they'll move the magnets around and do what they've got to do, then I'm really confident, and I think we are a class above Gold Coast. With that being said, who knows what's going to happen. There are some players though from Gold Coast that I really want to talk about, which we have to keep an eye on. Obviously, we have to watch Joel Jeffrey, we have to watch Noah Anderson, and they are having a fantastic season. They also did really well in last week's game. You're going to worry about the John Noble effect and the Daniel Rowley effect coming off the halfbacks pushing up. They're both linking up really well. I don't think it's as good as a Houston and a Josh Dacos, but it's working really well for them. The other one that I'm really worried about in this game is, I'm pretty sure his name is Bailey Humphrey. He kicked 2 goals, 1 last week, but his effort is off the radar. I really like this guy and the way that he plays footy, and I think that he is going to be one to watch. He plays in the midfield. He's 20 years of age. He's a big-bodied midfielder. He crashes the pack. He's the perfect youngster that you'd want on your list. I would kill for him to be on the Collingwood list for the next, 5 to 10 years and just breaking through. I think this guy's going to be an absolute champion of the game. So he's definitely someone that we have to watch as well. I love the way the Gold Coast are playing. Yes, they've dropped some games here and there, but their last quarter last week against Essendon was just very similar to the way that we've played some games this year, where for the first 3 quarters it's been neck and neck or whatever it is, and then parts of the third quarter and the last quarter we just put them to the sword. They did that against Essendon. Now, albeit Essendon, okay, they're not contending for finals, they're not anymore now after that loss. I just feel the Gold Coast have a lot of similarities to the way that we play. Obviously, we do it a lot better, and the results speak for themselves. But I've never walked into a week of football and been worried or anything like that. Obviously, against Carlton, you've been a bit nervous, and Hawthorn, the bogey team, whatever. I just feel the game against Gold Coast, it's going to be such a tight, contested game. If we win, I think we'll win by a goal. And I said it last night in the live with Dan and Hatters. And if you haven't already, please, after this video, go check it out. It was an awesome live last night. I do think that we'll win, and if we win, we'll win by like 6 points. I think it's just going to be a goal in it. It's going to be neck and neck. Our experienced body, our experienced head should get over the line. If we are missing the players, though, I do think potentially this could be one that we do drop. So I will let that go there, and you can take that for what it's worth. So a key matchup in this game is going to be what we do with Ben King. Now, obviously with Billy Frampton still out, our backline hasn't really struggled. It hasn't really shown any signs of like any leakage or anything like that. And with that being said, last week, we didn't really have much of an example to run by because our defense just held up so strong, and we weren't really getting peppered or penetrated in the defensive 50. So, with that being said, what do we do on Ben King? If Darcy Moore plays, you're probably gonna have to put Darcy Moore on him, because I think the Gold Coast are gonna stream through the midfield. And any sort of high long kicks that come in, you're gonna need the intercept marking from Jeremy Howe. Now, in the case that Darcy Moore doesn't play, then you're gonna have to put probably Jeremy Howe on him, and then you're gonna have to rely on potentially a Dan Houston, or maybe dropping somebody else down in defense to do some intercept marking. Off the top of my head, not 100% sure how that's gonna work, but it is really important that Darcy Moore plays this game, because last week Ben King kicked 4 goals. Now, he didn't set the world on fire around the forward line or anything like that, but he just took a mark, went back and kicked the goal. So we really need to stop that. I feel as if we don't, this could have a very similar effect to the way that Sam Darcy played against us when we played Bulldogs earlier in the season. Every single delivery that went into the forward line, he was clunking. We need to stop that. We need to win these midfield battles. I think Tom Mitchell is going to add so much against a team like Gold Coast, because it just allows us not to worry about, and I'm not saying Nick Dacos doesn't win the hard ball or anything like that. I'm not saying that Ned Long doesn't win the hard ball, because he does. Josh Dacos the same. Jack Crisp the same. But their strengths, if you want to play to your strengths, their strengths are the second part of the chain. We need that in and under midfielder. Let's be real. I don't think Jack Crisp is that player. I don't think that Nick Dacos or Josh Dacos is that player. Perryman, maybe, if he goes into the midfield, he can be that type of player. But we are dying right now as a team to have that Luke Ball, that Taylor Adams style of play, where the guy's in the pack doing all the dirty work. Against Carlton, we had that with Tom Mitchell. It allowed Ned Long to also do that, as well as he's been doing since he's been cemented himself in the team. But it's allowed him to also get the ball and break free, instead of the one getting the ball down the pack and having to dish off the hands to the running midfielders or the running halfbacks. Now that we've got Tom Mitchell in the side doing that, I think that's going to add a whole new dynamic to our midfield. But our midfield needs to make sure that when they've got the ball and they're running forward, they're also able to push back. We have been pushing back quite a bit, but also our defensive line has been really high up. And you see we get caught over the top a few times here and there. Even when we're playing good, really good football, it still happens, which is really annoying. So I'm hoping that with the addition of Tom Mitchell, slows everything down, but we can get the quick dish out, and then we can go. And I think that's going to help us, especially when you have a midfield with Tuke Miller in there, who, let's face it, I think he's one of the best midfielders in the competition. I love the way that he plays. He gets the ball, he goes, he finds himself in the right spot at the right time. He can also do like that Nick Dacos sort of handball and stuff out of the pack to a running half-backman or anything like that. So it's going to be a real good battle, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how we go up to Queensland against Gold Coast and how we manage that situation there. Every week, I'll leave you with this. Every week, we are challenged by a side. Even against Carlton last week, in the first quarter, it was neck and neck, and they were scoring some goals, and it was goal for goal or whatever, and we were challenged. We responded by blowing them out the water. There are games against like West Coast. They challenge us for 3 quarters and then put the foot down. St Kilda, a half of football. Melbourne, the entire game, but we manage the moments properly. If we can apply this mindset to this game, there is no reason why we can't win. If we get up on this game, this week, I don't think we'll drop top 2. I think we'll finish in the top 2 100%. I know we're in a really good position already, and we probably will, but I think this solidifies it. My tip is the Pies by 6 points, provided that we don't lose all of our players with the flu beforehand. I'm going to say Ned Long to get best on ground. I think this game, with Tom Mitchell in, it allows him to do what he needs to do. Let's face it, Nick Dacos will probably get it regardless if he plays or he plays with the flu. But let's just see how we go. Make sure you drop a comment. Make sure you tell me what you think. Call it as you see it. And as always, go the Pies.